So YouTube just released this note to its creators. One part of it is just talking about how you aren't allowed to make videos about current events unless you agree with YouTube's standpoint. Now, as you know, this is a gaming channel, so I really don't care about that, but later it goes on to say that you aren't allowed to make Minecraft videos anymore unless you're a certified games journalist. I was shocked, but also kind of not surprised at the same time. I used to love making Minecraft videos, and even though I don't really anymore, I have to say something about it. Anyway, on with the video. So I play on a pretty big public Minecraft server. The way they run this server is that every so often they change admins. There's usually like a dozen or so people who want to be admin, but we pretty much narrow it down to 2 people, and then we ask all the users on the server which one of the 2 they want. Our current admin is this guy by the username The Dawn, and his opponent, who wants to take his spot, is a guy by the name ChinaLover69. Now, some people really hate Don, and they go even as far as to call him a big German meanie. I personally don't think he's a big meanie. I kind of like him for a few reasons. He hasn't tried to destroy any other Minecraft servers, which is a thing our last, 10 server admins were doing. He also was nominated for the Minecraft Peace Award a few times for actually trying to unite Minecraft servers together. So that's pretty cool. And he seems focused more on the well-being of the average cobblestone miners and less on the server moderators who already have giant castles and chests full of diamonds and stuff. Those are just some of the reasons I like him. Other people hate him because sometimes he posts cringe on Twitter or something, but that's Minecraft, I guess. Then the other guy, China Lover, is just some guy who sits in his basement all day. But the thing is, a lot of the server mods like him. See, they like China Lover because he mostly cares about giving the server mods more diamonds. And I think that a lot of the server mods are friends with games journalists. It's weird that games journalists keep talking about the Minecraft server in this weird and biased way. They're always talking about how much of a shitty admin the Dawn is. We know games journalists are lying pieces of shit, and anyone who takes them seriously likely has tiny wood sanders skating across the surface of their brain. But it's still pretty weird that they focus so much on any bad thing they can find on the Dawn while completely ignoring anything he does that could be considered good. And they've been doing that for years. As far as I can tell, the server moderators hate the Dawn because he cares more about the average Minecraft player than them. And the game journalists hate the Dawn, presumably because they're friends with the server moderators. So for years and years, they tell everyone how much of a piece of shit he is, which ends up winding up a lot of the average Minecraft players into this hysterical screaming rage. And it really sucks, but I kind of don't blame them for believing something that just about every authoritative figure is telling them. I just wish they would realize that they're being used as tools to help get China Lover to be the server admin. Because once he is, the server mods can just go back to taking everyone's diamonds and weapons and armor, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. So while the Dawn is out there talking to everyone, it seems like most of the server wants him to remain the server admin. China Lover is just sitting in his basement eating Takis and watching Steven Universe reruns. No one really knows what he's about or even cares about him, so it was really weird when the results came back for who everyone wanted to be the new server admin. And China Lover won by a huge margin. And not only that, but he won with more people wanting him to be the new server admin than any other admin in the history of the Minecraft server. So that was really strange, and some would say so improbable that it warrants some kind of investigation. So they started looking into it and found a whole bunch of other weird stuff too. People on the server kind of break up into their friend groups and make little villages here and there. So the way they ask people who they want this new server admin to be is by sending over someone to each village and asking each of the players there. But one really weird thing that happened was in one village where they asked 18 people who they wanted, 24 people replied. So how can you ask 18 people a question and get 24 responses? I don't know, I haven't really figured it out, but they noticed this kept happening in a lot of villages. And then another weird thing that happened was that in some places the numbers were really statistically improbable. So basically, most places are split pretty 50-50 between if they like the Dawn or if they like China Lover. And even the places who like China Lover the most were split 70-30. But then there are some villages that were split 96-4. So that's impossible. So they keep looking more and more into it. One thing that you should know is that in some of the villages, the people asking everyone who they wanted as server admin were friends of China Lover 69. So it would be super easy for them to just lie. So we have this rule where you have to have someone who is friends with the Dawn there too, just to make sure that people aren't lying. And we call that person a watcher. But they actually found screenshots of this time where they said they aren't going to ask people anymore that day. So the watchers logged off and went to bed. But then they kept asking people after that. And that's against the rules, so anything done during that time shouldn't count to begin with. But then it gets even more suspicious. It turns out that during that time, the amount of people who said they wanted China Lover as the new admin was like 3 times higher than usual. Pretty wacky if you ask me. The way they kept track of all this was through this plugin. And it's a pretty simple plugin. It just keeps track of who people want as the new admin. It's kind of buggy though, and it seems to not count some people or otherwise switch who they said they wanted. The mods caught it doing that a few times, so they fixed it. So like, it's okay. I mean, I guess it's possible that it did it a bunch more times that they didn't catch, but who knows? Certainly not them, because when people found out it was buggy and they were like, hey, we want to see how this plugin works, the person who installed it was like, no. And then one of the moderators said, hey, I think we really should see how this plugin works. But by that time, it was already uninstalled and no one could see it. And what's even more suspicious about this plugin is that they asked these people from this other Minecraft server about it. And those people were like, yeah, don't use that plugin. It's really easy to hack. Our Minecraft server got hacked and now all we play is RuneScape. But the game journalists and moderators were like, no, it's impossible to hack that plugin. Which is really fucking weird because just a few years ago, the exact same people were talking about how easy it was for that exact plugin to be hacked. In fact, they accused Don of hiring hackers to hack that exact same plugin to get him to be the server admin. But now they're saying it's impossible to hack. So that's really weird. And then finally, we have people saying that they caught moderators lying about how many people they said wanted China Lover to be the new admin. And we have this other rule where if you lie about something like that, you get banned from the server. So I think that their word has some value. And there are a lot of people saying that they heard that others were lying or that they saw them lying or cheating. Like, a lot of people said that. Like, a lot. Anyway, so there's all this evidence that something weird is going on. So they took it all and showed it to the Don. He agreed that, yeah, something's going on. So he got some of his loyal moderators and they took everything and started showing it to the council, which are mods that are like one step above basic mods. Their whole point in existing is to settle arguments between mods. But this weird thing kept happening where before Don's mods could even show their evidence, the council would be like, go away, the new episode of Mandalorian just came on. So they were like, okay, we'll try another council member. And then when they went to that one, before they could show their evidence, that one was like, you misspelled a few words in your complaint, so I'm not going to respond to you. So they went to another council member, and he was like, LOL, you support Don, blocked. So they couldn't talk to him anymore. Then another council member was like, it isn't actually my job to deal with this. And the Don's mods were like, well, yes, it is actually. But then the council member just logged off. And then there was this one council member, and this was some older guy. And nothing against the guy, I'm sure he had plenty of experience as a head mod, but it was pretty clear that he didn't really know what a computer was, much less a Minecraft plugin. I think probably his grandson set up Minecraft on his computer for him, and that's the only reason he was playing. Anyway, Don's mods started talking to him about the plugin and the hackers, and it's clear that this guy had no fucking clue what they were talking about because he's like 90, so he basically tells them to go away because they're confusing him. If this guy doesn't prove that there needs to be a term limit for moderators, and especially council members, I don't know what does. Anyway, this goes on going from council member to council member like 40 times, and the whole time the games journalists and China Lover mods are squealing with laughter and shitting themselves, and they keep telling the rest of the server, hey, look at these idiots. Obviously what they're saying isn't true because the council of head mods aren't agreeing with them. Which is really disingenuous because in almost every single case, the council wouldn't even listen to them because of some weird technical reason, and not because there's no evidence. They don't even see the evidence most of the time. And the thing is, this is a really important thing for the Minecraft server for a lot of reasons. But one very pertinent one is that if China Lover wins, no one's going to be allowed to own anything better than iron equipment. Like, we already aren't allowed to have enchantments on our equipment, and now we won't be allowed to use diamond stuff? Frankly, I wouldn't even want to play if I'm not allowed to have a way to defend myself from griefers. We've already had some problems with griefers on this server, burning down villages and stealing people's stuff out of their chests. The thing is, it's a PvP-enabled server, so you can kill other players and take their stuff. Most people don't because it's kind of rude to just like stab someone, but the griefers do like PvP and they keep doing it more and more. And I'm just afraid that we're all headed towards some server-wide PvP battle. Not just between griefers and ordinary players, but between entire villages and moderators fighting moderators for control of the server. And aside from the immediate threat, how can I ever trust the admin selection process again? At least give me some answers instead of pretending like the questions don't exist. I'm not saying that anything is conclusive proof, it's just highly suspicious. So at least show the mods the things they are asking to see instead of accidentally deleting them. At the very least, acknowledge that there are some issues with how things went down instead of just treating half the server like we're stupid or crazy. I want to hear about what's going on. But I can't trust the games journalists because they're super biased. And they do really weird things. Like the other day, the Dawn, the server admin made a 45-minute YouTube video about how all this stuff is going on, and the games journalist barely mentioned it. Like, he's the admin of the fucking server, and you're just going to ignore him because the things he's saying aren't part of your narrative? Your job is to disseminate what he says to the rest of the server in an unbiased way, not completely ignore him and say the opposite of what he's saying is true, you absolute fucking treasonous bastards. I'm sorry I don't fall into one of the two target demographics for games journalists, demented geriatrics and drooling homunculoids. I watch YouTubers for my information instead. And there are some great Minecraft channels out there. Pim Tool, Sin Bapiro, Quieter with Rioter. Rioter's a really funny YouTuber. And sure, I don't agree with everything they say, and I know they have their own biases, and I think Sin Bapiro might be a Zionist or something, but they seem a hell of a lot more honest about Minecraft than the games journalists. But now because of these new rules, they're not allowed to make videos anymore. We've gotten to the point where some villages are banding together to attack other villages, and this is when YouTube decides to come out and say, no more Minecraft videos except from established games journalists. Only the people who agree with us are allowed to talk about Minecraft. So what then? I'm just not allowed to know what's really going on? I guess that's where we are. There is no war in Minecraft. Anyway, if you like my Minecraft videos, please subscribe to my channel. If I get enough likes on this one, I'll probably make more. I'm Cothrix, and you have a wonderful day.